Hi, I'm Assemblyman Alex Sauickie. I represent Legislative District 12 here in New Jersey. We're here today to talk about the recent school budget cuts and the impact on the school districts within Legislative District 12. All this is under S2 or Senate Bill 2, which was passed in 2018, which has really had a pretty negative effect on our school districts. With me today is Superintendent of Schools for Upper Freehold Township, Mark Guterl. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Would you mind starting by giving us an overview of the school district?
Sure. The Upper Freehold Regional School District has approximately 2,300 students, about 330 staff members. We're a pre-K through 12 district, regional. We bring kids in from Millstone, Allentown, and Upper Freehold, and we also are choice districts, so we bring 105 students from local area schools into specific academies we have at our high school.
Oh, great. And how have the recent school cuts impacted your district?
We've had a big hit for our district, and it's frustrating. It's been, in some respects, catastrophic. We have a great district with great teachers and great students. In the last 5 or 6 years, we've cut over $2 million of state funding, and this past year, S2, along with other factors, have contributed to over 16 teachers being cut from the district.
Wow. And you know, that bill, when it first was passed, was pitched as a way of right-sizing, of taking from districts that might have been overinflated in their funding and giving them to other areas. But when you hear about cuts like that, it sounds like the formula got it wrong.
Formula definitely got it wrong, and it's one of the frustrating parts for us is that a formula that started out with the goal of equity and the goal of trying to make schools funded appropriately have now reversed the tide to the point where I've talked to districts that are funded well with S2 who have said to me, quote, "I don't know what to do with all of this money." And meanwhile, we're trying to cover a Spanish class for third period or a physics class second period.
You know, I spoke at a recent school board meeting, and I heard the same thing. You know, teachers from other districts were saying that, hey, we have basements full of iPads, and we have a budget that we don't even know where the money should go. That's how flush they are. So clearly there's a problem. This office has introduced a lot of bills to hopefully address this. Some of the things being increasing stabilization aid from 20 million to 100 million. You know, I have districts, school districts within LD12 that need 20 million by themselves. So a $20 million stabilization aid for the whole state isn't going to do it. Anything else we can be doing to help?
Yeah, so first on the stabilization aid front, stabilization aid has been helpful to our district. We've applied the first 2 years. We've gotten good amounts those first 2 years, but you're right, $20 million is not enough statewide. That's sort of a ridiculous number if you think about it.
Right.
One of the things that we've talked a lot about in our district, that there's a lot of factors that go into it. So when you create a funding formula like S2, what it doesn't take into consideration are things like inflation, rising transportation, rising healthcare costs.
Right.
And so when creating a funding formula, whenever that happens in the future, which hopefully will be soon because S2 will run out, those factors will be taken into consideration, that there are going to be years where inflation will bring up the costs of things that districts can't just fund with a 2% rise. So what does that formula look like, and how can we make that formula be something that creates brings districts back to where they really should be, rather than trying to figure out how to keep their head above water at times.
Well, we have a bill for that too, in terms of finding a new formula. So we did put that bill in. Hopefully over the next year, we'll see some movement on that, and hopefully put your district in a much better position than it's been over the last couple of years.
And I appreciate the work you're doing, that you're continuing the work that Assemblyman Dancer was doing, and that's been super helpful to have an advocate like yourself in the legislature, because our voice is only one voice. What we did this year is I was able to testify in front of the Assembly Budget Committee. We also had emails of parents shooting emails to everybody they can think of. And so we continue to push that as much as we possibly can, and hoping that the squeaky wheel will get a piece of the cheese or something. But that's something that we continue to do and continue to try to advocate, because it all affects kids, and that's what people forget about. It affects kids.
That's right. That's right. Well, we appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate what your parents are doing. Grassroots efforts like that definitely go a long way. We'll keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we'll get this addressed as we move forward.
100%. We'll keep fighting.
So thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.